MultiGreen, building attainable, sustainable, and tech-enabled multifamily real estate through impact investing.
Welcome to the MultiGreen podcast. I'm your host, Randy Norton, and today we'll be speaking with Director of IT Automation here at MultiGreen, Danny McMillen. With over 15 years of experience managing data centers and software development teams across the globe, he is truly an expert at large-scale project management. He is a dear friend of mine and my family's, one of the most capable human beings you will ever meet. Enjoy our conversation. Danny, I'm going to dive right in. I want to know, and everybody wants to know, how did you get into computers, networking, programming, and these all-nighter hackathons?
I've always liked computers in general. Prince of Persia on a monochromatic screen brings back childhood memories.
I am not familiar with Prince of Persia. What is that?
Really? That's a great game back in the old days. It would run anywhere. Don't know, it's a platform 2D scrolling type game. It's just my dad had a computer from work that he brought home, and it had Prince of Persia loaded. It also had another game called Prehistoric 1, Prehistoric 2. So those were the good old games that I just remember playing on these very old computers.
Now, being in the networking and the data center capacity that you have now, do you ever do like big gaming tournaments, or do you still game in any way?
Yeah, I recently got into chess. I've been playing chess for a long time, but I realized that there's an app for chess.com, and I started using it, and you get ranked. And instead of that ranking, I realized that I suck. I'm in the 30th percentile. No wonder I always lose. People are much better than me, but it's fun. So that would be my sort of challenging game of the moment. There's really not much time to play. I'm a big FIFA player. Whenever there's buddies coming over for drinks, but other than that, it's work.
I recently watched one of my new favorite movies. It's called Queen's Gambit. Have you seen it?
Of course, yeah. It's it's actually like a miniseries. It's a 7-part miniseries from Netflix.
Yes, the miniseries. Excuse me.
Yeah, we binge watched it with my wife, and it was really fun. And apparently, they have some rave numbers coming in from chess.com. 400% increase in usage. Women signing up left and right to tournaments, and also to the associations for chess players. It's very, very interesting. It's fascinating. It's actually, I looked it up, and it's not a true story. It's kind of a bummer.
Oh, darn.
But it's loosely based on Bob Fischer's sort of life, I believe.
Yeah. My 6-year-old son, Edison, that's his new favorite show, is Queen's Gambit. He's learning about checkmate, and I'm really proud of him. And something that we do internally at MultiGreen is we always tell people that we're not playing poker, we're playing chess, meaning we have no cards to hide. We're fully transparent. We're putting all of the information and all the pieces on the board so that everybody can manage expectations and have a calculated next move. And there's so many wonderful things we can learn about business and life through chess, don't you think?
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's a wonderful game, and it's also just fantastic to apply those concepts to real life and business in general.
Well, we're going to have to connect online and play like once a month or something, and I need you to help me to get my chess rating score back up. I haven't played it for a long time.
And don't worry, I suck, so...
When I was in college, I used to hide out in the library at the Harold Bealey Library and play these chess games when I was burnt out. Going back to your background with computers and networking and programming, what is your favorite programming language and why?
I would have to say that my favorite programming language is PHP. The why is easy. It's the first one I learned. I learned it on my own. I just used it to deliver a project for a customer. And I was able to do it quickly because back in the day, they had frameworks for that particular language, and it just made it easier. So that would be my favorite because it's what I'm most comfortable with. But over the course of the years, I've had to learn a number of other languages, C#, Python. Of course, JavaScript is ubiquitous now.
I've always been a Microsoft guy. Why don't you think that language is the best and all of the CSS suites that they've put together?
It's the best use the best tool for what you need. They're the best when you're doing software development for specific windows. They're trying to get into a multi-platform with their new .NET Core. But in general, I would say that you can't use them all the time. If you're using open source operating systems, you're not going to be coding in .NET.
Yeah.
You're going to be coding in some other language. So that's the short answer.
That just dates me. I remember 10, 15, 20 years ago, all my friends were big .NET fans. So you always say the best tool for the job. For me, the best tool for the job is Microsoft. And I think that they're always the best for business. What are your thoughts on the best tool for the job when it comes to our business, MultiGreen?
The best tool for the job in terms of our business is the MultiGreen Cloud because we custom built that. Now, for business in general, it used to be that Google Apps was the only one in town, and we all used to use Google Apps. But they really have an issue with the fact that you couldn't edit old .docs or XLS spreadsheets through their platform because that's proprietary Microsoft knowledge. And they built that into the Office 365, what they call Microsoft 365 now. That is the key to their success. And they've made the platform better and better and better. They've invested on all these different tools, SharePoint, Delve,
That's amazing.
OneNote. It's incredible, the amount of tools that they're coming up with, and they just keep on adding more and more value to their suite of software. And they haven't increased the prices. Google Apps increased the prices last year.
When you put us on Microsoft 365 and the MS Teams environment, at first I didn't understand the power or the best tool for the job at the time. Boy, looking back at this year, 2020, with COVID and all that's gone on, we would have totally died without MS Teams.
It's incredible. I participated in several Microsoft, they call it Inspire. It's their annual conference for partners. Teams started really small, and they just sort of beta tested it, and it just took off. It was by far their breakout product for the last couple of years. Adoption rates are just through the roof. And they took on Slack, but at the same time, it's integrated with SharePoint, so it just makes collaboration so much easier. It just fits like a glove in a post-COVID environment or post-COVID world.
So Danny, since you're a Microsoft guy, and with your background and experience with data centers, are we at MultiGreen a Microsoft shop, and where are we going and why?
We are a Microsoft shop right now. We're completely vested in Azure because we think that they have the best tool set, and ultimately they're going to be the bigger player. Now, the future is really multi-cloud, and not just multi-cloud, but hybrid cloud. So some data is going to be on site because you want to keep it private. You don't want it up in the cloud, lost somewhere in cyberspace. And multi-cloud, because we've seen big outages. Even AWS was down for almost a day this past week. It's incredible. And it happened also to Azure AD authentication sometime this year. They were gone for like 6 hours, and everybody was without access to any of their systems, let alone Azure. So the future is multi-cloud. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But we will leverage Azure as much as possible.
I love it. So let's talk about this idea of MultiGreen and this single pane of glass concept that we've been really adamant about for the last few years. What, in your opinion, is this single pane of glass, and how will it benefit MultiGreen?
We have what we call the MultiGreen Cloud. And the MultiGreen Cloud is custom purpose-built software that allows MultiGreen to operate and attain our 40,000 units goal by 2030. So we believe that by having a custom software in the center of the mix and integrating into the different portals, digital twinning on Azure, we're going to be able to control the flow of data. And through controlling the flow of data, we can then create better results for our investors.
What are your thoughts on this new Microsoft digital twin product that's coming out?
It's certainly interesting. We still need to learn more about it. I'm excited about the possibilities, but it's very, very new at this stage. And I think that we just need to learn a little more about what's going to be capable in terms of IoT connectivity. How can we model the buildings, and how can we preemptively solve issues and ultimately save money?
Yes, all about saving money and being more efficient. Danny, did you know, I believe somewhere between 60 and 70% of all construction materials and time is wasted?
No, that's astounding.
It's a true statement by the Construction Institute, but it's just amazing how inefficient this industry is. And quite frankly, we're all Neanderthals in the application of technology because, traditionally we've been in the field on site without internet, without, devices or Internet of Things. And now that's changing, which is truly disruptive, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't want to bore our listeners with all of the things tech, nor do I want to be MultiGreen University, as we say, but I really wanted to showcase your expertise and our passion for the Microsoft suite and how we're building it out and around that. In your opinion, from a technology standpoint, what are you most excited about MultiGreen?
The possibilities are endless. As you just stated it, if there's so much waste, technology can come in and prevent that. And we can find ways to be more efficient and also learn from the data. We can bring what we've learned in the data center world into the construction, building, maintenance world. And we think that that is going to be a key differentiator for the business.
When it comes to all things green and sustainable, how is the technology world designing around that, designing for that? For example, is there such thing as green data, for example?
That's an interesting concept that I think MultiGreen is creating, quite honestly, because we're at the cutting edge of green initiatives, especially in construction and sustainability. There's no concept of green coding per se, but I think that it would be fantastic to have that concept in our world.
Well, to continue the theme of MultiGreen and in the spirit of MultiGreen, Danny, what are some of your favorite green things?
I'm really a green person lover, and I would have to say that Christmas trees are one of my favorite green things. We were recently at it's like a farm for Christmas trees. It's really interesting because you go up in the mountain, you select your tree, and they cut it for you right there on the spot.
Wow.
I thought it was fascinating. I didn't go because of the trees. They had like a picture session there. And then when I saw it, I thought, should I buy it or should I not? And then I saw them cut a tree. I just felt horrible. So I said, no way, Jose, I'm not buying no tree.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Danny, you've been with me for this entire ride. It's now 2020. MultiGreen is at the end of our very first year of operations. As you know, we publicly launched from Davos, Switzerland earlier this year at the World Economic Forum. And there we announced that MultiGreen would improve the state of the world by constructing 40,000 attainable and sustainable tech-enabled multifamily homes. So if you had one wish for MultiGreen, what would it be?
My wish for MultiGreen would be for us not just to achieve the goal that we have set for ourselves, but furthermore, to actually discover insights in the data that we harvest to bring even more efficiencies and create something new out of the data. That would be my wish.
Danny, these were some really great questions. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners?
No, the future is green. The future is sustainable.
I love that response. Danny, it's been so good being with you today. I can't wait to have you back here in Las Vegas, and we will have some very good conversations about all things green.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me, Randy.
Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you for listening. Join us as we build 40,000 attainable, sustainable, and tech-enabled multifamily homes by 2030. And if you like the content you're hearing, hit the subscribe button. Follow us at Think MultiGreen and sign up to learn more at www.multi.green.